If you're unable to take your dog for long walks due to an injury, illness, or because you're very pregnant like I am, then this video is for you. This is my dog Nira. She's 10 years old now, but she's still incredibly active. She enjoys going on full-day hikes up mountains, and she's used to at least one long daily walk. That's gotten really difficult to provide while I'm in my 3rd trimester and I feel incredibly uncomfortable on walks. In this video, I want to tell you 9 tips for how I'm managing Nira's exercise and entertainment while I'm unable to take her on a long daily walk. The first and most obvious is incorporating high-intensity play into our day. Nira's 2 favorite ways to play are chasing after a long-handled fur toy or chasing after a frisbee. Both options are fantastic because they get her running without me having to move too much. Incorporating even 5 to 10 minutes of high-intensity play into your dog's day can really take the edge off of their energy. Tip 2 is offer extra food enrichment toys. It's important to remember that enrichment and mental stimulation also help meet our dog's needs and keep them entertained. When I'm unable to exercise Nira as much, I increase the frequency that she gets enrichment. 2 of Nira's current favorites are this stuffed and frozen toy and this treat dispensing ball. I will link both items in the video caption, as well as a video that covers my other favorite food enrichment toys and how I prepare them. Tip 3 is to walk in new areas. I try to make an effort at least 1 to 2 times a week to leave our regular neighborhood for Nira's walks. When we go somewhere new, it offers extra stimulation and new scents for Nira to explore. Even if I can only manage a 20 or 30-minute walk right now, I notice that doing so in a new area helps her to be calm for the rest of the day. Tip 4 is scavenger hunts both inside and outside of the house. Since I don't want to overfeed Nira when she's getting less exercise, I'll often use her kibble for this one. When I play this in the house, I ask Nira to stay in one spot while I hide her kibble throughout the house in places that she can't see. After I'm done hiding, I'll go back to Nira and I'll release her to go sniff and find them. Okay. Depending on where I've hid everything and how difficult I've made this, it can take Nira up to 20 minutes to find them all. I find that this is a great way of using her meals for some exercise and mental enrichment. If I play this game outside, I'll again have Nira stay and wait while I walk around throwing the treats into the grass. I try to make a point of remembering how many treats I've thrown so that I know when she's found them all. Then I go back to Nira, I release her, and I let her find them. Depending on leash laws in the area, I'll either keep her on a long line or I'll unclip her completely. The longer the grass, the harder the treats are to find, so the extra sniffing really does help her relax. If I know I'm only going to manage a really short walk that day, I'll often do a treat scavenge like this before the walk to help her burn off some extra energy. Tip 5 is to go on off-leash adventures. I know that some trainers are anti-dog parks because you cannot control what kind of dogs will be there and therefore whether your dog will have a good experience or not. I have been taking Nira to off-leash parks for her entire life because she loves running free and playing with the other dogs. However, since I've been pregnant, we've had 2 bad experiences. The first was a scary run-in with a coyote, and the second was an incident where, with no provocation at all, a doodle ran up and immediately bit Nira. The more pregnant that I've gotten, the less I feel capable of running in and getting involved, so I haven't wanted to return to the dog park since she got bit. Okay. Instead, I've been taking Nira to sniff spots so we can have a big off-leash area all to ourselves, or we can invite some of her dog friends. If you haven't heard of sniff spots before, they're fenced-in places that you can rent by the hour and have all to yourself. This video is not sponsored by Sniff Spots in any way, but I'll provide a link in the caption. For this particular sniff spot, I paid $10 to rent it for an hour, and Nira had a blast. This also segues into tip number 6. Tip number 6 is to add extra training or brain work. It's important not to underestimate how much mental work can tire out your dog. If you're physically unable to exercise your dog as much, then adding extra training, such as teaching them a new trick, can really help take the edge off of their energy. After Nira had done a bunch of running at the sniff spot, I also used it as an opportunity to keep training her prey drive with a horse that kept coming over to say hi. Good girl! I've also done a lot of extra training with Nira while I've been pregnant to teach her skills that will be useful for when the baby arrives. If you want to learn more about everything that I'm doing to prepare Nira for the baby, hit subscribe because I'll be releasing that video very soon. Tip number 7 is a simple treat toss game. I'll again often use Nira's kibble for this so that I'm not adding too many extra calories. My house isn't very large, so I do often play this game outside. All I do is I toss a treat, I wait for her to find it, and then I wait for her to reorient back to me before tossing another. Playing this game with a handful of kibble for a few minutes incorporates extra running and sniffing into her day. This again helps take the edge off of her high energy needs. If you're enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate if you would hit like and leave a comment to let me know. Tip number 8 is the hardest one for me, and that's asking for help. I've always been the one to walk Nira because my schedule is quite flexible and I honestly enjoy getting her outside every single day. However, on really rough days in my 3rd trimester, my husband has been the one to walk Nira occasionally. If you're anything like me, I do know how difficult it can feel to admit that you need help. However, I bet that there are people in your life that would jump at the chance to help you out. Enlisting somebody that you trust to help exercise your dog even a few days a week while you're unable can make a massive difference for both you and your dog. And tip number 9 is to ditch the guilt. Life happens, and sometimes we're not able to give our dogs as much as we would like to. The fact that you're even watching this video tells me how much you care about your dog and how much you want to do right by them. However, sometimes we're just not capable of offering as much. I do hope that these tips have given you a few new ideas for how to entertain and exercise your dog, but I also want to remind you to give yourself a break during this difficult time. Your dog is going to love you no matter what. If you think that there's anything else that should be added to this list, I would love to hear it in the comments. Your ideas could really help other people. Happy training. I'll see you in the next video.